It's always such a pleasure to come back. That is because you are sentient beings who deeply yearn for your own freedom, and that inevitably serves to do nothing but call forth the light. Because light is freedom. Light is the deepest and most profound truth of wisdom. Light isn't necessarily found in every single truth you encounter in your everyday experiences and personal journey. In the wide world that surrounds us all, and within the complex collective consciousness, sometimes you come across certain truths that seem to be very real on the surface, but they are actually truths that aren't truly part of the pure and eternal light of true understanding. And that is really what I want to talk about today. True, authentic freedom is the very one you already have right now. It's not the one you want to have, but the one you possess. Many people think that to be free, they need to have money. To be free, they think they need to be able to do whatever they want. But these things themselves are not freedom. You can have money and still not feel free, can't you? You can have You can lead a life completely free of all commitments and still not feel truly free. Freedom is a deep internal feeling. It is a complex feeling that covers many different frequencies, and one of the most important of them is confidence. Because when you truly feel confident, you feel completely free. Because nothing can hold back someone who feels truly confident. It's just like a beautiful horse that is running completely free in the great wild. No one needs to tell him that he's a wild horse and that he can go wherever he wants. He already knows. And that's exactly why he goes from one location to the next and comes to a complete halt. He watches, eats, drinks water, and then he goes again. He does exactly whatever he wants because he truly understands that in his world, that's freedom. So, freedom isn't just about what you possess or how much you have. Freedom is a feeling. And why am I talking about freedom? Because you confuse it. You're confusing freedom with possibilities. I can't really do anything, so I'm not exactly free right now. You're just a slave, and there really are slaves in this world. And not the kind that existed 200 or even 300 years in the past, but the modern day version of a slave. The one who wakes up in the morning, enters a world that doesn't exist. He lives in that world all day long, running from one frantic place to another, feeling completely empty, unstable, constantly stressed out, afraid, thinking that something terrible could happen to him at any moment. He returns back to his home, washes up in the shower, and finally heads off to bed. There are a lot of corporate slaves just like that, who simply receive their paychecks at the end of the month. They have a car, they have a house, they have a family, and often even a religion, but still, they're slaves. True freedom is found in the feeling. Freedom is when you can finally say to yourself, no, this just isn't for me. These friends aren't for me anymore. This job isn't for me anymore. Even if by saying no, you're gonna disappoint someone. By saying no, you're gonna feel completely untethered, without a new job, without new friends, not really knowing how life will go from there. But even so, you know what you're feeling. You know deep down that's truly the best thing you can do for yourself at that specific moment. So you say no. This is freedom. It is truly about being the ultimate master of your own personal existence. And this is freedom. When you say yes to a career path you don't like, to a relationship that doesn't make you truly fulfilled, to those exhausting and endless arguments, or to those situations that feel like a movie playing on repeat every single day, and you keep saying yes, and you say, I can't leave this place. I can't get out of here. I can't get out of here. I can't. I can't. Know that you are not free. But not because someone is holding you back. It's because you're holding on to something. You're clinging to something. You say, I'm not going to give that person the satisfaction. So I'm not going to do anything for them. Let them be, and yet they stay in your life. While you naturally want the other person to understand your point, you don't realize how resentful you are. Sometimes you might do something that seems like it's for the other person, but in reality, it's for yourself. But you don't do it out of resentment because you think that person doesn't deserve it. And do you know what you do with that? You trap yourselves. You tie yourselves up. You chain yourselves to that person, to that situation, to that energy. And when you want freedom, what do you think of? Lust, money. But you're chained to that job you don't want, to that relationship you don't want, to that person you don't want, to that illness you don't want. You chain yourselves there because in that specific place, you feel truly seen and recognized as a unique person because you're the good one. You're the one who's sacrificing. You're the one who's absolutely in the right, and it's the other person who's completely in the wrong. You're working so incredibly hard for your family. You're doing all of this for your children. So you see yourselves as the good ones, and you tie yourselves to the situation. You imprison yourself in the situation. So it's not life. It's not money. It's not the endless possibilities that will set you free. Only you have the inherent internal strength to do that. You can only truly and deliberately take action within your very own life. So, if it's true freedom that you're looking for, remember that no one else can ever give it to you. Not me, not anyone. Only you can give it to yourself. So, you need to understand what it is that you're stuck in. Am I stuck in my own reasoning? Because yes, you imprison yourselves in your reasons. Am I right? So I am actually right. And if I am right, then I do not have to do anything at all. All I have to do is dig my heels in and show everyone that I'm right. In my company, there are a lot of people who don't like me, but I'm right. So I really want all of the other different people to go to hell. Let them just stay over there. I don't care. They don't deserve anything from me because I'm right. And you know what you do with that? You imprison yourself with those people. My husband doesn't understand me. And honestly, I don't even care anymore. Let him be. And what do? You imprison yourself. Being right. Being right is not a good guide. The fear of being alone is not a good guide. The fear of losing your job is not a good guide. The fear of not knowing exactly how your life will unfold without that person, without that situation, without that opportunity is simply not a reliable guide. That is exactly why freedom is ultimately about trust. It is the deep trust that You already know how to live your life. No
Ninguém
one needs to
precisa te
teach you.
ensinar. Você
You
sabe
already know
como
exactly how to
criar
create a brand new
trabalho
job
novo,
or a fulfilling
um
new
relacionamento
relationship.
novo,
You can
uma
build a
versão
whole
nova de
new version
si
of yourself that
que não
isn't sick
seja
anymore,
doente,
a
uma
vibrant
versão
new
nova
version
de
of
si
yourself
que
that is
seja
truly happy.
feliz. Você
But
sabe,
it is really
mas é
just
o medo
fear
que
that
não
holds you
deixa
back.
você chegar
Reaching
a
this
essa
conclusion,
conclusão, a
the
conclusão de que
conclusion
você
that,
sabe.
it's
É o
fear.
medo. Porque
Because there
existem
are
aquelas
always those
vozes que
nagging
dizem:
voices that say,
"Mas
but what if
se eu
I
não
haven't
tiver
given this
dado
person
todas as
every single
oportunidades para
possible
essa pessoa?
opportunity? What if I
E se
didn't
eu não
really
tiver
push myself hard
insistido
enough
no
at work?
trabalho? E
What
se
if I
eu não
can't get
conseguir
another
um
one?"
outro trabalho? E se, e se, e se? Quando na
When the truth
verdade
is,
é que
unfortunately,
aquilo para
that's
você
already long dead for
já
you.
morreu. E
And
aí
then
você
you
se
gradually chain
acovarda,
yourself a little
mais um
more to that
pouco
difficult
àquela
situation
situação,
because
porque
you're still
você
living in the
ainda está no
uncertain world
mundo
of
do
what
se,
if in that specific
no
world.
mundo do
The world of,
será que
am I
eu estou
actually right?
certo?
Should I wait
Será
even
que eu
longer
tenho
than
que
I
esperar
already have?
mais? Se
If
eu
I leave
deixar
this
essa
person,
pessoa, como é
how
que eu
am
vou
I going to
fazer
pay
com as
my
minhas
bills?
contas? Se
If
eu
I leave
deixar
this
com essa
person,
pessoa, como é que
how
eu
am
vou
I going to
fazer para
manage being
ficar
without
sem
my
os meus
kids
filhos ou
or
com os
with my
meus
kids?
filhos? Sem esse
Without this
trabalho,
job,
como será
how
que
am
eu
I
vou
going to support
sustentar a
my
minha
family?
família e
And that's how
assim
you keep
vocês vão se
chaining yourselves up.
atormentando? E aí,
And
quando
then, when
chega
you
um
reach a
momento
truly
muito
fascinating and
interessante da
reflective
vida,
stage in life,
que
which
é
is
aquele
when you're
que
approaching the
você
very
está
end of your journey
próximo da
and you
fazer a
know it,
passagem,
you
que
begin
você
to
sabe
deeply wonder and ask
você
yourself,
pensa,
was it
nossa,
all
será
really
que valeu
worth
a
it?
pena?
Now
Agora
I'm
me
about
deixa
to leave this
assim,
world. Was
valeu a
it worth it?
pena? Sabe
Do
por
you
que
know
as
why
pessoas, quando
people,
chegam no
when they're
momento
at the
da
moment of
passagem, elas
passing,
começam a
start to tally
fazer
up
as
their
suas
own
próprias
accounts?
contas dos
The
prós,
pros, the
dos
cons,
contras, de tudo
everything
aquilo
they've
que elas
lived through?
viveram? Porque elas
Because that's when
começam
they
a ver
really
o que
start to see
realmente
what's
é
truly important.
importante. Todos
All of
aqueles,
those
eu tenho
thoughts like, I'm
razão,
right, I am
eu
really
tenho
afraid of
medo
this,
disso,
is my life
será que a
actually
minha
going
vida
to
vai
end right now?
acabar? Tudo
None
aquilo
of
não
that
tem
matters anymore.
importância,
And it's right there.
que a
That
eternidade
eternity
e a
and the
clareza
clarity it
sobre
brings
ela
finally
começa
begin to become
a ser
tangible and
real,
real, to become
a
perfectly
ser
clear.
clara. E
And at
aí a
that point,
pessoa já
the
começa a
person
ver
eventually starts
que
to realize that
muitas
so
vezes
often
ela
they
perdeu
wasted
tempo
so
e
much time and
energia
energy just
se
holding on.
mantendo
They
escrava
were
de
a slave to
situações
situations they didn't
que
need
não
to be in.
precisava.
It
Não
didn't make
fazia
sense,
sentido
and
na
yet they
consciência
kept
de cada
going.
um. Dentro de
Inside each of
vocês
you,
existem
there are
muitas
many
crenças,
beliefs,
muitos
many
programas, muitos
programs, many
esquemas
systems of
de
slavery, of
escravidão, de
imprisonment.
prisão. Alguns
Some of them you
vocês
can
já
already
conseguem
see,
ver, outros
others you
ainda
can't
não.
yet.
Mas aqueles que
But
vocês
for the ones you
conseguem,
can see, do things
façam
differently,
diferente.
act
Hajam
in a
de
new
outro
way
modo. A
in life.
vida, ela
Life
é
is
assim que
exactly what you
você
believe it
acredita que
is.
ela é. A
Life
vida
isn't
não
any
é de
other
nenhum
way
outro modo,
except the
a
way
não
you
ser
believe it to
deste
be.
modo. Você
Do you
acredita que
believe you
você
can do it?
consegue?
Then
A
that's how
vida
life will
será
be.
assim. Você
Do you
acredita que
believe you
você não
can't do it?
consegue? A
That's
vida
how life
será
will be.
assim. Você
Do you
acredita que as
believe that
pessoas
people
não
don't
te
love
amam
you
o
enough the way
suficiente
you'd
da
like
maneira
them
como você
to?
gostaria?
That's how
A
your
vida
life
é
is, and
assim.
that's how it will
Será
be.
assim. Você
Do you
acredita
truly
que as
believe in your
pessoas
heart that all
devem
people
ser
should be
livres,
completely
assim
free,
como você,
just like you are in your
e
own
que a
life?
vida será
Then that's how
assim?
it will be.
A maneira como
The way
você
you see
vê
things
é a
is the
maneira
way
como
life
existe a
exists
vida ao
around you.
redor. Então
So
pare
stop
hoje
today
e
and start to
comece a
analyze
analisar no
exactly what it
é
is that you're
que você
actually
está
chaining yourself to right now.
vivendo.
That
Aquela
pain
dor
you've been
que você
feeling for
sente há
so
muito
long,
tempo,
the one that
que
seems like it will
parece que não
never
vai ter
end,
fim,
is your
é uma
own
prisão
prison.
sua.
It
Que não
wasn't
foi
someone
o
else, it
outro, não
wasn't
foi
that
aquela
situation,
situação,
it was
foi
you
você
who
que
did it.
fez. E é
And
você
it's
que
you who
tranca
locks
a
the door every
porta
day.
todos os dias.
You
Você
go in
entra e
and lock
tranca
the
a porta
door every
todos
single
os
day.
dias.
No one
Ninguém
else
te
locks you in
tranca.
there. You're the one who locks yourself in because you want to change the other person. You want to change the company where you work. You want to change your company's employees. You want to change your neighbors. You want to change everyone. But you don't want to change yourself because you're the one who's right. And since you're right, you don't even have to stop and think about whether you're right or not. You are, because everyone else is wrong. Well, if this is your life and you're the co-creator, do you really have nothing to do with it? You're stuck in a situation and you have nothing to do with it, even though you're the only co-creator of your own story? If you truly don't believe in the law of attraction, I sincerely ask you to turn off this video right now. Please, go ahead and do something else with your time. But if you do believe, it's time for you to face the truth. Everyone, absolutely everyone, without exception, is a slave to something. Everyone, without exception, is chained to something. Every single day, without exception, you all walk into a prison and lock the door from the inside. Everyone. So now it's time for you to take a look. What is your prison? Figure out how you're holding yourself back and start working on it. Do the opposite. Seek the light. Seek trust. Seek love instead of fear, instead of reason, instead of low-frequency feelings, instead of resentment. Because it's those things. Those are the building blocks of the prison you create for yourself. So you really need to look for other materials, specifically high-frequency materials that can truly set you free, instead of just making the prisons you build with your own hands last forever and ever.